Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Very, very welcome on this Global Associate Meeting. This is Dan Andersson, and very, very pleased to be taking you through this. Now, the content of the meeting is kind of reflecting a business that is chugging along and doing its thing, and no particular dramas, no particular big issues going on anywhere, so it'll be quite a short call. But in general terms, Leo is in a very, very good place at the moment. Like on this call, I think we have something like 20 different countries represented from all over the world, and it's just fantastic to see the breadth and the width and the spread of our business now, and that's also reflected in our sales. And we are now getting sales every week from so many different countries, and we kind of have our big normal players, but we also have lots of small markets coming through now in surprising places. Some of the list of countries that are now popping up on a weekly level in our business does nothing except fill me with joy that we have a business that is transcending barriers and borders and cultural differences between people, and showing that people can work together and people that want to work together. And this, in the times that we live in, must be something very, very cool. Now, the agenda points are the normal sort of run-up of stuff, but what I'm very, very pleased about is that today we're running a management conference over the next 3 or 4 days in the UK, where key corporate stakeholders from every area of our business, every department, every function of our business are together now, even as we speak, discussing all the management issues of coordinating our efforts and making sure that we're prioritizing in the right way, because we have so many moving parts all the time and so many different things that we're working on, that the only way that we get through that is by having a strong, cohesive team in the middle that work together as a team. And so that's, again, something that I'm fiercely proud of, because after 6 years now, we have really managed to create a business, much more so than all of the flash in the pans that come and go in a environment of creating a fantastic story, a story that probably is too good to be true. And then after 6 months, after 12 months, you discover, yeah, it actually was too good to be true, because they're no longer in business. We are the opposite of that. Now, just one event that I really want to promote, which is a live seminar on Discover Leo on the 11th of August in London, UK. I know that many of our networks and many of our people have connections, of course, into multicultural Great Britain. And so this will be a fantastic seminar, and it'll also be a Discover Leo. So it's kind of the golden opportunity to redeem a live seminar ticket and invite a guest of yours to see what Leo is about. Because our core business is still training and always will be training and entrepreneurship training, and how we then have a business that has developed and turned into something that can support entrepreneurship in different ways, and that is kind of modern and of our times. And in 2018, I think that we're a very modern direct selling business, and I'm very, very proud of that as well. So tickets aren't yet available, but there'll be stuff coming through on this very, very shortly. And Canary Wharf is a fantastic venue for us to be doing this event. It's kind of the heart of business London, and that's where Leo should be. Brazil, just to always keep that at the forefront of your mind, this is what you should be working towards. I love the imagery of Brazil, because I've been there, and the first 2 pictures, I've not been there during Carnival, so the third picture I shouldn't speak about, but the other 3 is exactly what Brazil and Rio de Janeiro is all about, and that's exactly what it looks like when you're there. You feel like you're in a film set, you feel like you're in the most epic place ever, and for us to be able to offer this as the global conference venue for next year is something that will inspire so many of our people and so many of our leaders for years to come. So this is something that you shouldn't miss out on. Get focused on it, because the 31st of October will be here in 5 minutes. And if you start late, you won't make it. You need to be on the case right now. Like it says there, there's no limit to the number of tickets that you can earn. So if you break one associate, break another one, and break another one, and make sure that you do everything you can, because this will be a sellout event. This will be 700 people. This will be us branding up an entire resort that will make Mauritius, that in itself was fantastic, look like something that people could almost forget, because Rio will be that fantastic. I've seen some of the collateral, I've seen some of the pictures of the venue, of the rooms, of the resort, and it is just out of this world. The other thing that I'm very pleased about this week is some of our Chinese-speaking community engagement. Stone and his team, they've created this Leo Home, where Leo Coin is kind of what they're championing and teaching and training people about, trying to give people an understanding of what Leo is and the future of our business, and how we work with real entrepreneurship, like it says on the screen there. We're also grabbing the opportunity to educate people about Leo Coin, Bitcoin and Ethereum, and how that sits together. But they're also doing sort of basic trainings of how the back office works and the next level trainings, etc. So just very, very cool to see. Christine from our Canada region has been to Guangzhou and done training workshops and worked with leaders there. And again, it's just a small example of grassroots level stuff that's happening everywhere. I know that I could show pictures like this from the Philippines, I could show it from Pakistan, I can show it from South America, I can show it from Africa. This is the real work that you guys have to do. We provide a platform, we do everything we can to give you a long-term business, but you then have to promote, teach, and train, and just nice to see. This one was cool as well, because in Beijing, they did a Leo Merchant program where they invited people who had small businesses to show them how Leo Coin and digital currencies would support their future. And just again, a very, very cool thing. And it might not sort of be hundreds and thousands of people, but it's nice to see how the real work is happening on a grassroots level out there in the world. So anything like this that you have from your markets, any examples of small snaps you have showing events and trainings that you've done, send them through, and we will pick up on it, and we will showcase your stuff and your people as well. Morocco has now concluded. We have a very, very healthy amount of qualifiers, again from all over the world. Very pleased to be doing this executive trip in the first week of October. It will be something that takes our executives to the next level. It'll be a little bit about Leo's United Nations of many countries coming together and sharing with us who they are and sharing with them who we are. So we will have a full set of executives from different areas of our business there for trainings and for meeting the new emerging executive leaders. And quite apart from anything else, we'll be giving you some extraordinary lifestyle stuff. Marrakesh is an absolutely magical place, and it should be on everyone's bucket list. The digital market service is going on. We have an interesting place. We have an interesting thing going on now in the world of Bitcoin and digital currencies. There's an awful lot of FUD around. FUD meaning fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And one of the things that the Bitcoin ecology's always had to deal with is people having an opinion, people expressing their views. Usually, or sometimes, those views are incredibly positive, and sometimes not so much. We have now a situation where Bitcoin dropped down beneath the magic marker of $6,000 a couple of times to quickly recover and then sit above 6,000. And it's kind of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that's being driven is, oh, Bitcoin is finished, it's over, it's dropped so much in value, boom, 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 boom. And I kind of say, well, hold on a minute. 12 months ago, Bitcoin was sitting at sort of $1,000. And then it did its remarkable rise to the end of the year to $20,000. Now, obviously, that is not sustainable, but it has kind of given a proof of concept of what Bitcoin can do. And of course, in a rising market, everyone is a genius, including all the altcoins that orbit around Bitcoin. But let's not forget that in 12 months' time, the overall market cap for digital currencies has increased by a factor 5, factor 6. And I'm very, very positive about the space, and I'm very, very interested to see what happens next, because I think that this is far from played out and over. With all of the uncertainty that's coming in the world, I expect to see a rise of Bitcoin that will be paralleling what happened last year. No promises, and then you should do your own research and find out what you think is the reality based on information that you trust. But in my world, this is far from over. But with a depressed market, with a market where the price of Bitcoin certainly in the last 6 months has gone down, the opportunities for altcoins is also becoming a little bit of slim pickings. It's becoming a little bit harder to find those obvious things that you should mine and then leverage back into Bitcoin or Ethereum. So we're certainly under a bit of pressure, but what we're always playing for the long term, which means that we're acquiring digital assets that, when the market turns, could be creating an absolutely phenomenal value uplift. So those of you who are sitting there with your rewards from the DMS, congratulations. I believe that the future is very, very secure for you, and something that is going to give you a lot of benefit for you and your family. But it's a matter of holding strong and not buying the negative hype. And that's all I'll say about that. The UK Leaders Summit, if you're qualified for this, make sure that you do everything you can to prepare for your journey in terms of administration and visas and paperwork, etc. Because coming to the UK these days is harder than it was 2 or 3 years ago. And so you must make sure that your house is in order. I was training the Chinese and trying to get them to understand that if they want to be an international entrepreneur, if they want to build an international global business that they can travel to in a year's time, in 2 years' time, in 3 years' time, the preparation for that starts now. And in particular for the Chinese, and I think some of our other secondary markets, if you like, it's very important to be able to demonstrate that you have regular and monthly incomes. Money has to go into your account, demonstrating that you're an entrepreneur that's building your business up. And that means that you just have to pay taxes and be a good, credible person applying for a visa. We had some people in the past that were outraged that they didn't get their visa from China to travel to this place or that place. And when we looked into the story, well, there was actually because someone had a criminal record. Another person could demonstrate no regular income going into his personal account. And what you need to do now is start to build up your entrepreneurship profile, that in 2018, if your history is not so brilliant, start to make a regular income into your account, so that in 12 months' time you have a regular, you can demonstrate that you are a quote-unquote proper person. And this is part of it. We can't help you with that. We can only sort of train you and help you understand that when you apply for a visa to a market that is suspicious about your country, you must show above reproach that you are a proper person, you're a proper business person, and not kind of, how should I say this, not a chancer. So it's something for you to think about. But in terms of the UK Leader Summit, if you're qualified for this, get your shit in order. Organize your paperwork, organize your visa stuff, so that you don't come lastminute.com and oops, didn't get my visa. Because we will help and do everything we can, but you have to do the actual work. The launch of Dr. Moy's training products, we've now launched another few titles and products there, has been fantastically well received, and it's something for our members that it's a mark of pride that Leo is working with a person of this caliber. Now, this is a kind of a call to all of you that if you want training products in your language, if you want to be raising the profile of Leo in your community and in your business, then you can help by giving us introductions to trainers that can help us customize and create training products, in particular in your language, in your region, into the interests that your market might have that might be unique. And we're very, very keen to make connections with people like Dr. Moyes and others. And they're very keen to work with us because they see that we have a very, very big international platform, and they want to be part of that because they can then brand themselves up internationally, which is something that a trainer often struggles to do, and adds huge value to them. So if you have any people like that, if you know people that know people, network and bring these people to the table, and we will negotiate with them, we'll create training products with them, we'll create a contract with them, and it will just strengthen our product positioning, which then helps you in terms of marketing our products and in terms of recruiting to build our business. We've got a couple of office notices for July. Today, Monday, Hong Kong is closed for celebrating the Hong Kong Special Administration thing, what have you, and Canada as well, the following Canada Day. Nothing to worry about, but you should know about it if you're connected to those offices. So in conclusion, as always, speak to more people. Speak to people about digital, speak to people about education, speak to people about gold, put together the gold and digital into one pitch, and you have a very compelling and interesting story. And in direct selling, the interesting story always wins. So this is a very, very short call. There'll be some major updates following this management meeting in the UK. So next Monday will be a very, very good GAM to promote to your people and make sure that you and your teams are all here. But in the meanwhile, I thank you for your hard work. I thank you for your commitment. And I thank you for being loyal and true to this little company called Leo. One day we'll tell you the untold story of the work that we did on our side, and the work that I did on my side, and the engagement that I had to do with sometimes very bad people. And I'm not going to say anything more than that about it. But the untold story of Leo is a story of us engaging to build a long-term business to make sure that you guys have something that you can promote with pride and confidence that will be here in 5 years' time, will be here in 10 years' time. And that's always our aspiration. That's always our goal. So this is Dan Andersson saying thank you very much indeed for coming here for this short GAM this week, and look forward to speaking to you next Monday.